Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me.
Hello, everyone. This is the Majestic Talk Show. I'm your host, Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other goodies, y'all. Our topic for today is organization spring cleaning. So, everyone, welcome to the show. We have a great guest today, Janet M. Taylor. She is the host and producer of Get Out Clutter, Get Organized. She is the organization queen. And I know you're saying, what does organization have to do with mental health? Because this is a mental health show, right? Well, the average home has over 300,000 items. And there's an emotional cost to that. Research conducted for the Huffington Post showed that 84% of Americans worry that their homes aren't organized for clean enough. And 55% of those folks say it's a big cause of stress. So how do we get rid of that stress? We do that by getting rid of the clutter, organizing the things we have, whether that's in our minds, in our homes, our workplace, our workspaces, wherever that is, even in your car. So we all know that this time of year, people love to do what we call spring cleaning. So that's why we call this show Spring Cleaning Organization. We have Janet M. Taylor here today. Janet, say hello to everyone. Hello, Janet.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go.
I know. Isn't technology wonderful? But I'm excited to be here with you as well as your listeners.
I'm excited to have you here too. Janet, I'm gonna tell some people a little bit more about you because you are a big timer. You know, you've been in the game a long time and you've done work for a lot of people like Les Brown and Dana Williams. You own your own company, Totally Organized LLC. You also work with you're a corporate trainer conducting webinars for Fortune 500 companies for a New York-based firm. You also do insurance, so you make sure people are organized at home and for the afterlife.
That is so true. Yes, making sure they're protected. They're properly protected.
Yeah, so we know that it's spring cleaning time and people have a lot of stress. We have a lot of to-do lists but we have a whole lot of stuff in our homes, workplaces, and workspaces. And people are stressed out sometimes during this time of year. So what do you think would be beneficial to people as they do their spring cleaning this year?
Well, it's always important to figure out really your life now, but also your future life. Because a lot of times when we do that spring cleaning, we find out we may have something from maybe 5, 10, 15 years ago that we've never even looked at again once we were done with it. It could be a lot of people have graduated from college. They still have their college books. Or maybe, you got teenagers or 20-year-olds and you still have their toys in the house. So it's always important to, before you start that spring clean, look at your life now, but also the future life. And then just get rid of anything that doesn't really fall in line with that.
Okay, so but what though if we don't want to get rid of it though, Jen, because it has sentimental value. Maybe the person that used to use it, they died. Like say for instance, because my mom just died in February. She has stuff I'm quite sure that we don't want to get rid of. And as a matter of fact, I said that we'll make her room a memory room for my dad and her. So what if we don't want to get away with it? Give it away or get rid of it.
And I can understand that because my mother passed away. And what I did was, because I was in a small space, I limited what I kept.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew I couldn't keep everything. I knew I couldn't keep her clothes because I couldn't wear clothes. So I gave those away. But there were some things like I wanted to keep her traveling trunk. I kept her jewelry. And of course, I decided to get rid of my bedroom set because I really loved her bedroom set. So it's not about getting rid of everything. And sometimes even depending on the time, you don't have to get rid of anything. But if you're feeling like your space is just, causing you stress, you're overwhelmed, then either consider getting rid of some things, but also possibly repurposing things. Because my mother loved to entertain, and she had all of these glass trays with cute little cups to match. Well, when I entertain, that's not really what I'm going to do. But what I did was I took one of those trays, those glass trays, I gave 3 of them away, kept one, and now I use that on my dresser for perfume bottles. So it's good. You can keep those things and incorporate them, replace them with something you already have, and incorporate the thing that really means a lot to you so you don't feel like you're overwhelmed with so much stuff.
Okay, so during the springtime, what do you suggest? So we're getting ready to, of course, put away our winter clothes. Well, I guess because these days you never know. Because every time you say you're getting putting your stuff up, winter come right back around the corner, which I love anyway because I rather for it to stay spring since it's normally hot in the summer here. So, what are some tips for the spring that you can give us? Spring
Well,
cleaning.
for in regards to sprinkling, and like you said, I'm on the East Coast. One day it's like 80 degrees, next day is 40. So a lot of times, first of all, it's really just kind of going in that closet and just sometimes being honest with yourself of what you can wear and what you can wear, what you look good in, what you feel good in. And sometimes it's also good to possibly have somebody who just stands by you and really tells you the truth. When I organize my closet, I have a friend, he is a stylist. So I will bring him in. I will usually know what pieces I want to keep, but then there's those pieces I'm just not sure of. And he'll be honest with me. He'll say, you don't look good in it. It doesn't fit where you are now. And so that can kind of help you as well. But it's really thinking about, okay, because statistics says 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. And we were 20% of our clothes 80% of the time. So, and also, you talked about stress and you talked about mental health. Is your ultimate goal? Do you want to be able to open up that closet and not feel stressed and overwhelmed? If that's the case, then of course you're going to have to get rid of something. But also, just begin to incorporate some habits so that when you bring stuff in, you're donating stuff. And a lot of times that can help you get rid of things. But it's basically just kind of going from room to room and seeing what room causes you stress and overwhelm, and then prioritizing. Maybe when you're going from room to room, you realize that bedroom causes you stress because you can't see the bed nor the chair, and then it's focusing on that area. Or maybe you've decided, it's a new season, I'm going to eat a little different. So maybe it's time to go into that kitchen and just kind of rearrange things and also get rid of some things that you no longer use. I had 2 sets of measuring spoons. I only use one set, so I'm giving and donating the other set to someone who I know is moving into their new apartment, and they could use all the little knickknacks and things that they could truly use if I have to spend any money. So, but with spring cleaning, it's just really getting rid of the old because you know we're going to bring something new in.
Yeah. Yeah, because during that time, maybe we need to, we want to go shopping during the summer, especially if you like me and gonna stay in the house during the summertime because I don't like being outside anyway. But I know, and that's probably weird, but I really don't like being outside. But a lot of people really don't get how important it is to declutter their homes or workspaces. Even you starting off a new business, how important it is to make sure everything is in line and in order. So if someone is starting off with a new business, what do you recommend that they do to get to start off being organized?
Well, I would definitely make sure that they have their legal documents and financial documents organized. And also consider having a basically, I would say, virtual files or scanning those things. Yes, a lot of the information, we do need a physical copy. I
Hmm.
would suggest, you definitely get a safe, invest in a safe, but also make sure you scan so you can have a virtual copy because what that does, it positions you so that when you do start growing your business and expanding and people need certain documentation, you already have that electronic copy. You're already ahead of the game, and all you have to do is, a lot of times you either have to attach it to an email or upload it when you're applying for grants, etc. But making sure those documents are organized and also making sure you structure your day so that you are working effectively and efficiently. And that means planning the night before what you need to focus on the next business day so that when you go into your workspace, you're more strategic on what you have to do and you're not trying to figure out, well, what do I need to do today? No, you already know because you really want to wake up with a purpose. And also, when you are done your business day in your office, it's clearing your desk, not necessarily trying to get it neat and tidy, but just organizing it so that you can at least see the top of it. But also, when you walk into that space, the next time you're working, you're not distracted by the piles. You're focused on, again, what you need to do.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. See, I told y'all she's the queen of organization. Um, so what products are there any specific organizational products we should use in our office space that would be more beneficial to people or what?
I would say if you can, and if you have the space, to definitely get like a letter tray, because what that does is it allows you, when you're done working on information at the end of the day, you can put it in. I have like a letter tray with like three slots. The first slot at the top, I put my planner, which I still have a physical planner, but then I have things I need to do weekly. And then of course the bottom tray is for the people who help me, continue to do what I love to do. So it's my team. So
Hmm.
that way, all that information is just easily accessible and I can actually grab it whenever I need it. But also magazine boxes or files, because you can not only put magazines, because some people still, need that for reference material, magazines, catalogs, and pamphlets, but also you can put files in there. So
Hmm.
I have like magazine files with certain project files. It looks very neat, because it looks like almost a book on a bookcase or on a shelf. But then when I pull it out, it has everything that I need as well. So those are some of the things. And then, of course, baskets and bins are great because you can put information in them and put it on the shelf, and it really looks nice and neat visually, but also you can grab things easily.
Okay, I'm sure you are helping a whole lot of people and me too because I do often get into my business office at home and I just got a lot of stuff there, not a whole bunch, but I haven't really been having the time to get things in order. So it does cause you to have a whole lot of stress because you're like, oh Lord, I got this to do, I got that to do. Even at work, at my office at work, the same thing. So many things get piled up because you have a time frame and working with them, and it does cause you a whole lot of stress. And also it takes you more time to complete the tasks you have because of what you see in front of you.
So true. So true.
But these organization skills don't just work in our homes, in our office space, or even our children. Well, children, not mine because I don't have children. Children's spaces either. They don't just work in those places. They also work within yourself. It's good to have yourself organized on the inside. When you were saying about getting rid of things that you've held on for 15 years, what about those things, decluttering yourself and your mind from all the things that have harmed you in the past, all the things people have said in the past, the things you've done in the past? Get rid of those things. And you can also repurpose those things, though. Don't you agree? You can repurpose them to use them as a testimony for other people. You can use what you've learned from those situations you've been in, the hurts, the pains, the loss, all the things that have occurred in your life. You can use those things to repurpose those things to help someone else.
That is so true. That is so true. And also, just what I wanted to also mention in regards to organizing, like you said, it's not just, your office, it's not just your space, but also thinking about your time as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think sometimes, we are so quick to say yes to everything. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we do need to just say no because, one, we need to give our bodies a chance to rest. We need to give our minds a chance to rest. And sometimes it's just really looking at the calendar and just blocking time out for ourselves to really recharge and regroup so we can do all things that we are gifted and purposed to do while we're here on earth and not be so busy doing all these tasks that we just can't really focus on those things.
That's true. But a lot of times we don't say no because we're afraid of what's going to happen if we say no. Say, for instance, somebody asks you to do something, you have a lot of things to do. These people have helped you in the past with other things. So you're like, okay, well, I'm going to say yes because I want to invite the thing. Hey, I didn't do it. I didn't do you that like that when you needed help. So a lot of times people say yes and don't declutter their schedule because of those certain issues. They want to be the yes person because they're afraid of what someone is going to say, how someone is going to treat them the next time they need help.
And that's true. That is true. And I always tell people sometimes you just got to, before you say yes, you might have to count to five because, and also sometimes just be, and it's important for us to really have our priorities straight because I know when I was my mother's full-time caregiver, that was it. So I could not say yes to everything. And also, I just wanted to share our own personal example when I was working on a contract. And it was my job to make sure the reports got submitted within 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
The issue was that the people who generated all the information for the reports, they would give them to me on day 30, 30 minutes before they were due. So what I did was I basically talked to everybody I reported to, let them know how much I enjoyed being on the contract, working with them, and I suggested. And I understand we have that 30-day external deadline, but can we have like a 25-day internal deadline? So that would allow me to generate the report. That would allow me to give it back to you to review it to make sure I did it according to all the information you provided. So then we could submit it. So sometimes when you do have that tendency, oh, I can't say no. Sometimes at work, it's creating a whole, you may have a better way of doing something, but even in our personal lives, you can say, you know what? Right now, I am not able to, be on the committee, but I'm going to be at the event. So can I be at the door and greet people? So sometimes it's giving people options. Yes, you may not have the time to be on that committee because you're committed to, your family or some work or maybe continue your education, but you're going to be at the event. So, hey, I'll stand at the door and greet people. So it's just looking at options.
Yeah, learning to compromise then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, Janet. That's good. So, since you do also organize people after life, what are some tips and suggestions that you have for people getting prepared for when they leave this earth?
Well, of course, I definitely believe that everyone should sit down with an estate attorney and really make sure that that is all in order, because it it doesn't cause stress for the people who are left behind, because that's what I see. When people don't prepare before, when you leave people behind, it gets stressed, it gets overwhelming. And also, if you have things in your house and you may want somebody to have this, or give it to them. If you're not using it and it will make them happy, why not give it to them now? But also just begin to really have conversations with people, about certain things. I had a conversation because I'm single. I had a conversation with my best friend and said, look, this is what it looks like. This is where all the paperwork is located. So she doesn't have to go through any of that stress or strain. Have those conversations because it makes it a lot less stressful for those left behind, but also begin to just get rid of stuff. I got rid of a few things. I got rid of my report cards because I figured at this point in my life, I'm going to be 60 in a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to know what I did in the third grade. You don't need to know my attendance in the third grade. So I got rid of the report cards. I also got rid of the goblet I got when I went on my prom, and then the glass I got when I went on my 30-year high school reunion. They were doing nothing but collecting dust. And I said, you know what? You got to go. So I donated them. So sometimes that's good too. It's just getting rid of stuff. So people, when we're gone, they don't have to come into a house and see it full of stuff. They're already dealing with the grief of us not being here, but now they're getting overwhelmed because they've got to go through all of that stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. That make a lot of sense. The producer over there really enjoying it because he kept bobbing his head over there. Um, that makes sense. I've never really thought about that. About getting rid of the stuff before you leave. Yeah, because that's a whole lot of stuff that people do have to go through. But a lot of us, like me, I like to keep certain things because for
Mm-hmm.
some reason it reminds me of things from the past. Like I like to see how smart I've gotten. You mentioned the
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
report card. I want to see, how smart I was back then. I probably don't remember most of the things from back
Mm-hmm.
then, but
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
do
Mm-hmm.
like to look back and remember those things. So for the things we do want to keep that come from our past, like childhood, what can we do so it doesn't look like a lot of clutter when we do pass away and people come in, or even while we're living?
Well, a lot of times, and this is people's comfort zone, you can always, I mean, we've got scanners, so you can scan it, so therefore you can still have it, but you just don't have to have the physical copy, and you can always go back to it. And also, a lot of times with scanning, depending on how old something is, it really preserves it. I still
Mm-hmm.
had, when I was going through all of my papers, I saw my papers where I paid off my student loan. I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, I need to keep this, but I didn't want to keep the physical. I just scanned it. I said,
Mm-hmm.
just in case, you never know when something might happen. So I scanned that copy. So I feel comfortable that I have it, but I don't physically have it. So think about, doing some scanning, or, again, 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. So yes, you want to keep some stuff from school, but do you have to keep everything from school? You may have written some papers, dissertations, and you want to keep those, but do you need to keep the drafts? So it's about just kind of figuring out what you need to keep and what you need to toss, because you don't have to keep everything, but you definitely want to keep some stuff. So just get rid of the stuff that really, the drafts, the copies of the copies of the copies, get rid of some of that stuff.
Yeah, we do like to keep a lot of stuff. Well, I can't say that I have a room full of clutter, but we do like to keep different things. True, that's good. So we've talked about so many things that can help us throughout our life and when we get ready to leave this life. Because we do want to create a positive mood, reduce stress, and feel relaxed when we get home and after a long whole day of work, going to somebody else's place, you want to come in and have that peace of mind in your home. And when you go in your workspace, you want to have a piece there so that you can just and be organized. So what, like you said, that everything you need is where it's supposed to be, and you can just feel this calmness, and be just instead of the job you're doing or the being at home or the business that you are working in or creating, instead of um really going in and you're dreading going in because you have so much stuff in there, you'll be more relaxed. Like I said, you'll be more relaxed going in. So that's what we wanted you all to do and to know while during this time of spring cleaning. Now, don't get scared because Janet told y'all to get rid of some things. You know, some things, Janet, I hope you didn't scare people by getting rid of their
Well,
stuff. Now,
no, and
but
I understand. I understand because I kept some of my mother's jewelry, and I also have a pair of yellow gloves that come above the elbow that I will never wear, but I'm not gonna get rid of them. So I have them in my jewelry. I have jewelry trays. I just put them right beside some of her jewelry. So I'm not telling you you have to get rid of everything or even sometimes anything. It's really creating a space in a home where you create systems, but also when you bring stuff in, you get rid of some stuff that you do not want so you can just keep a good flow and just not be overwhelmed with stuff. I mean, there's stuff that we keep sometimes that we don't really need to keep. Do you need to keep, those newspapers that you've already read? There's really nothing in there, but you just read it just to kind of keep on top of things, but there's nothing in there. So let go of that stuff. Make space for things. Or maybe, you've got shoes that that kind of not comfortable. So let go of those. The same with clothes. Or
mm-hmm.
even sometimes when we have things, I had these beautiful stone bakeware, but those things were heavy. And I said, I'm not going to be lifting these things out of the oven and putting in. There's just too much weight on my back. I said, you know what? I know exactly who I'm going to give them to. I'm going to give them to some young man who's just starting out, who loves to cook, and he got the muscle to keep going in and out of the oven with that. I don't. So it's just really kind of just asking yourself, like, wait a minute, that's been sitting there for 10 years. And every time I have to dust it at least once a week, I think I'm tired. I think I need to let it go.
Just let it go. Yeah, that's good. I didn't know they made stone cookware. I guess
Yeah,
I
yeah, and it's heavy.
I'm sure it is. Yeah. But y'all, oh my God, Janet Taylor, the organizer, has given us a lot of good tips to help us organize, keep ourselves organized, but not only just for your home and all your different spaces, but also in your life, in your mind, your heart, your soul, and your spirit. All of those things need to be organized. So whatever you have that you don't need, um, in whatever area of your life, let it go. And if there are some pieces that you have that you don't want to get rid of, like Janet said, the organizer said, figure out another way to repurpose those things and use them in another different way, or hold on to them and create a place where you can put them so that they'll be nice and safe, and even people can keep it from generation to generation, right, Janet?
And that is so true. That is so true. And as you were talking, I'm taking a dresser because I got a new dresser for the bedroom. So the old dresser that belonged to my mother, that I
Mm-hmm.
still want, I'm going to repurpose it. I'm repainting it and putting new knobs on it. And I'm going to have it as a piece in my dining room because I have a small dining room and it
Mm-hmm.
fits perfectly in there.
Yeah, see, Lord, I need no wonder Les Brown them hired you, Janet. Are there any final words, and let everyone know how to get in touch with you?
Well, of course, they can always visit my website with all kind of resources and information at www.janetmtaylor.com. And remember, 80% of the stuff we keep, we never reference again. And we wear 20% of our clothes 80% of the time.
Yeah, that's true because I don't wear most of mine. That That's really true. So I hope and I pray that you all have learned something from this show today. We want you to get organized and get rid of the clutter. Our guest for today is Janet M. Taylor, host and producer of Got Clutter, Get Organized. Thank you, Janet, for being here and giving us all of those wonderful tips for our life now and the life we'll leave behind. For the people we'll leave behind. So thank you so much for being on the show. This is the Majestic Talk Show, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next month. Have a great night. Goodbye.
Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Talk to me, to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me. Majestic talks. Come and talk to me, to me.